and welcome to the Autocar show. Now, when the BMW X3 was first launched in the Indian market, it was pretty much its own benchmark and its own competition because there were not many cars in the luxury compact SUV segment. But that's all changed. There's so many more cars on the Indian roads and of course much more competition for the X3. Well, BMW is all geared to take on the competition in the form of the brand new X3.
The first thing that strikes you is that this X3 looks bigger and more muscular. The heavily contoured flanks and the redesigned tailgate with tail lamps give it a much stronger look. It's bigger, in fact it's 83 mm longer and 28 mm wider than before, but it's also 12 mm shorter. The ground clearance remains almost identical. The place you notice the change in size most is on the inside. Once you get in, this feels almost like the X5. Especially the rear seat, it's got more width and 3 abreast will be way more comfortable now. Plus, there's more legroom too. The cabin feels airy and it has the typical BMW layout. But now you also get the iDrive and a high-resolution screen, although it looks a little small on this dash. There is a new electronic gear selector and there are loads of more features like the park assist, the brake hold, the hill hold, stop start, the Bluetooth where you can access your SMS and BlackBerry users can access email too, an 8-speed gearbox, and now a dynamic drive that allows you to choose between normal, sport and sport plus modes to suit your driving style. It also comes with electronic 4-wheel drive as standard. On the safety front, you get 6 airbags and active headrests. The interiors all feel really top quality and befitting a car of this class. The boot space is increased too and offers loads of luggage room. Under the hood is the familiar 2-litre turbo diesel with a new variable geometry turbo.
This is a nice, punchy, torquey engine, but it kicks in only after about 2000 RPM and that's when you begin to enjoy this engine. Between 2000 and 4000 is really the meat of the power band. But even the top end, it really cruises so effortlessly, this car. I mean, you can go up to triple-digit speeds very, very easily. And in 8th gear, it's almost below 2000 RPM.
The ability to cruise at lower RPMs at higher speeds makes this a fuel-efficient engine. Adding to that is the fact that BMW have kept the weight down. Though this car is bigger, it's really not heavier. All of this comes together to make it churn out an overall average of 10.1 kilometers per litre, which is good for a car this size.
It's a fuel-efficient engine, plus you have the stop-start function. Now when I come to a stop, say if I'm at a traffic light like this, engine will stop once I press the brake. And then when I release it, starts off again. You can barely feel it.
Now, for the better fuel efficiency, performance certainly hasn't been compromised. There's more torque and more BHP and the engine really delights. The in-gear performance figures are really impressive and it's quick between 20 to 80 or 40 to 100. In fact, quicker than the XC60. 0 to 100 also comes up in just under 10 seconds. The beauty is that the X3 is as happy ambling around in the city as it is cruising at triple digits on a highway. In the normal mode, the slower shifts make the performance a bit spiky. It takes a while to shift down and then offers up a sudden surge of power.
Now this engine responds much better to park throttle than it does to flat footing it, especially when you're in the normal mode. If I press my foot flat, yeah, it takes that little while to react. But if I'm at park throttle, there's enough torque to pull you through at any point of time. When you put it into sports mode, however, there is one. Let's put it into sport. There. The shifts are much quicker, the steering tightens up, and this car becomes a totally different animal.
and it's an animal that you instantly fall in love with. But performance is not really a huge jump from the older X3. Where there is a big jump is the ride quality. The previous X3 had been most criticized for its overly hard ride.
Now when we talk about ride quality, it's hard to believe this is a BMW, especially in the normal mode. The ride has a much softer edge. It absorbs the bumps and potholes with amazing pliancy, and I have to say that this is much improved.
Since the X3 uses run-flat tires, there is the odd sharp edge that filters through. But overall, this back seat with its additional space and better ride is a far more comfortable space to be. The softer rear setup to help the ride has added a bit of body roll and vertical movement at the back. Now, like all the other model changes, this new X3 gets the electric power steering too.
Now in the sports mode, the steering, like I said earlier, tightens up, and this makes it much more fun to drive. Feels extremely agile. You can really chuck it around the corners, and it gives you amazing amounts of confidence. The car grips the road. There is a bit of body roll, but it's still a very fun and involving drive. Now the good part is that this fun and involving drive made the earlier BMW X3 a little bit heavy to drive, but you now have a normal mode. So when you want to do some relaxed, easy, in the city driving, nipping in and out of traffic, like I have to do now, all you do is switch there. Steering becomes much lighter, car becomes much easier. So I think this has a bit of everything, and it's very enjoyable.
Most other cars, the electric power steering actually took away from the BMW experience. But in the X3, I feel it's actually made it better to drive. With the options of normal, sport and sport plus, you can choose whether you like it light and easy or tight and accurate. Frankly, I love the sport plus, which gives you the agility of a deer, and with the traction control switched off and a nice heavy steering, tail coming out, that's the way I like it best. In this mode, the BMW X3 comes alive under your hands, and you get the feeling of never wanting to let it go. Sadly, at the end of every test drive, I do have to let go.
Well, I've had a good taste of the BMW X3 today, and I have to say that this is a much more evolved, much more mature car than before. It's bigger, it's better, it's got more efficiency, it's got better ride quality, more on the interiors. And that's just it. Like the 7 and the 5, this is leaning a lot more towards comfort. It's a little softer around the edges, but that's not to say it's lost any of that involving driving fun that BMWs are so famous for. This car is still hell of a load of fun to drive. It really makes you want to go out and buy one. Well, with BMW pricing this competitively, I have to say that the others in this segment better watch out. This is going to give them a run for their money.
Formula One is all geared to scorch the Indian soil this October with a record 10,000 tickets already selling out in the first 6 days. The Budh International Circuit near Greater Noida will be the center of all the high-octane action, where you can witness the first ever Indian Grand Prix on October 30th by shelling out a minimum of Rs 2,500. But if you want the main grandstand, you'll have to empty your wallets a bit more and spend 35,000 rupees.
I have this big smile since yesterday. I've seen the track, and it's going to be a huge thing for me, for the sport, motorsport in general in India, and I'm really looking forward to racing here and doing well.
Well, I've told my friends turns 10 and 11 because that's where you'll see a Formula One car in all its glory. It's going to be extremely quick through there. And turn 4, I think, turns 3 and 4 are the two other good ones where I think you're going to see a lot of overtaking. So.
Well, that's all about the track and the best seats in the house. But for the corporates, there are also boxes available for about 50 lakhs for 32 seats.